Dear learners, welcome you all to e-learning platform. Now we have reached week 10. In this week you will learn the rainbow from chapters 12 to chapter 16, written by D.H. Lawrence. Me, Faisal Ahmed, with you throughout these lectures. Let's begin. In week 9, you will learn the summaries from chapter 12 to chapter 16, from lesson 1 to lesson 5. And in lesson 6 and 7, you will learn the major themes and symbols appeared in the rainbow. Chapter 12 Summary. Lesson 1. Ursula is finishing up her schooling. She forms a bond with one of her teachers, Winifred Inger. Ursula's schoolgirl crush makes her excited to take classes with Miss Inger. They have a physical encounter during a swimming class. Miss Inger invites Ursula to tea. She tells her stories about prostitutes and women who die in childbirth. The two bath naked together. Miss Inger introduces her to many new ideas, including secular humanism and feminism. Ursula is not sure what to think of her friendship. She is proud that such an interesting woman wants to spend time with her. But she is also concerned what Miss Inger will try to possess her and keep her from being independent. Ursula begins to want some freedom from Miss Inger, so Miss Inger leaves for London to preserve the relationship. Ursula invites her female tutor to visit her frequently. Lesson 2, Chapter 13, Summary. Ursula returns home. She is extremely unhappy living with her mother and the 7 other children who now share the house. A combined house for so many brothers and sisters, and parents and grandparents. Her mother cares only about babies and ridicules Ursula's other aspirations. Will has gone through a series of artistic phases, moving from woodwork to sculpture to painting to jewelry to metal work. Ursula looks for a way to get out of her family life and wanted to be independent. Ursula's former school headmistress advises her to take a position as an elementary school teacher. Her father is upset that Ursula has an opportunity to leave, because during that era, women are prohibited to go out, and especially go out for any job was not permitted from their family. Ursula tries to explain why she wants to go, but her parents do not listen to her. Her father tries to belittle her so that she will not go. She sends off applications and gets an interview at Kingston-on-Thames. Her parents are extremely upset and angry that she wants to leave. They forbid her, but she did not listen. Chapter 14 Summary. Ursula grows happy through her friendship with Maggie. She enjoys visiting Maggie's family at their home in Belcourt. She develops a romantic relationship with Maggie's brother Anthony, although she recognizes that she wants to be free to travel while he is settled in his life. She wades through the second year of teaching in order to go to college. She still hates for her job, but she has settled into the familiar routine of it and no longer has the same level of problems that she did when she started. Chapter 14 Summary. At the same time, Will has accepted a position as the Arts and Handwork Instructor of Nottingham County. The position is very important and brings the Brangwen family into a higher level of society. The family moves to a house in Beldover, Willett Green. The family settles into their new home and in their new social status. BBC drama adapted from the novel The Rainbow. Chapter 15 Summary. In Lesson 4, Ursula settles into her college studies. She will attend college for 3 years to gain her BA in addition to her teaching training. Her first year is full of activity. She is intimidated by her professors and has the most joy during her botany class. She enjoys the college experience and makes a friend, Dorothy Russell. She passes her intermediate arts exams and goes on holiday at the seaside. Chapter 15 Summary continues. On returning to school, she is disillusioned and no longer interested in her studies or admiring of her professors. During her last term, she receives a letter from Anton and arranges to meet him. They rekindle their romance because they both see through the materialism of their lives. Anthony is on a 6-month leave before going to India. Over the Easter holiday, Anton and Ursula go away together pretending to be married. Chapter 16 Summary. The last chapter of the book. Ursula discovers that she is pregnant. This makes her very nervous and she is not sure what she should do about it because she was unmarried. Ursula begins to sympathize with her mother in the connection to pregnancy. She decides that the only thing she can do is write to Anton Skrybensky and tell him that she wants to marry him and wants to go to India. She writes Anton asking to join him in India, but Mr. Anton does not reply. Ursula and Mrs. Inger in a movie adapted from the novel The Rainbow. There you can see here. Chapter 16 Summary continues. While walking in the woods, she is surrounded by stampeding horses. The physical strain leaves her ill for many weeks and causes a miscarriage. She is sick for a long time and therefore has a lot of time to think about her life. She comes out of the situation with new independence and begins her life again. On her recovery, she sees a rainbow in the horizon that gives her inner peace and a ray of hope for new independent life as a woman. In an age where women were lagging behind in compared to men in the patriarchal society. At this, the story of the book ends. The next sequel of this book is Women in Love. You can read the book as well. Now we are in lesson 6 and we will know 3 major themes appeared in this book, The Rainbow by D.H. Lawrence. The first theme is Rage Against the Machine, the Age of Machine, industrialization, which is indicated here. The times are changing for extended members of the Brangwen clan. The canal cut into their property to connect the Collieries is a symbolic slashing of tradition and convention. The days of bucolic individuality are about to disappear as the industrial age makes its way out of the cities and into the gentry. The factory is an appropriate metaphor for what amounts to a wholesome change in a society seeking to transform the individual into the collective. This machinery of homogenization extends from the collieries to the school where Ursula unhappily teaches to the formulated geometrical layout of the industrial towns, growing up to give the colliery workers a place to live, a place that feels the regimented odor of the workplace. The Brangmans rebel in general, but Ursula's rage is expressed the most fervently. Movie adapted from the Rainbow. Major theme 2, the rage against Victorianism. And the rebel against the rules and norms against the Victorian England. After receiving a complaint from a reader, a warrant was issued under England's laws against obscenity, and the Rainbow was banned in 1915, with an additional order to seize copies still in the hands of the publishers. This was after the original submitted manuscript had already been censored by the publishers. Ultimately, at least 1,000 copies of the book were destroyed, and when published in the US, the book had absent 13 passages which had been deleted without permission of Lawrence. Lawrence was notorious for pushing the boundaries of sexuality in all his novels, and though by today's standards those 13 passages would not even raise an eyebrow, just the mere indication of a lesbian affair between two of the characters was enough to guarantee that objections would inevitably be raised against the novel. The open sexuality was hardly an attempt by Lawrence to be controversial for its own sake. However, The Rainbow is just one example of Lawrence continually pushing hard against the prudish literary output that defined the Victorian era and its immediate aftermath. Initial book cover of The Rainbow by D.H. Lawrence. The third major theme is rage against the patriarchy or the patriarchal society. Ursula is the character that would in most novels do the things Ursula is the character that would in most novels do the things that a man would do in order to become the central protagonist. Ursula pushes back against an education system designed to create Ursula pushes back against the education system designed to create compartmentalized little robots, and she pushes back against sexual expectations by having a sexual relationship with another woman and by exhibiting an unwillingness to bow down to patriarchal expectations of her place in the world by the army officer with whom she falls in love. The titular rainbow is the symbolic expression of Ursula's utopian dream for a better world that is more equitable toward gender differences in the future. Though Ursula is the type of character who would in most other novels would be a man, however, she is not merely a feminine transference of male qualities. She remains true to her sex even while battling against that very expectation of discrimination. Here you can see the portrait of D.H. Lawrence. The last lesson 7 of this week. Symbols. The first symbol is the rainbow. The central image of the story is the title, object, and the allegorical significance is apparent from it actually being a symbolic image in the novel, such as the doorway in the Lives of Tom and Lydia. The timing of the appearances of the rainbow indicates its status, a recurring motif symbolizing the stages of life for characters. The rainbow, in fact, represents the removal of discrimination between men and women and a ray of hope for new life, new independence in the world of women by the side of man. The second symbol, cathedral. The cathedral is heavily invested with conflicting thematic symbolism. While at first it represents the spiritual renewal of will, eventually it becomes symbolic of his disillusionment. For Anna, the cathedral carries all the associations of suffocation and strangling the opportunity to enjoy life. Here, cathedral is a symbol of religion, on the point of which there are diversified people, and those are divided in specifically two categories. One is devoted to religion, and the other is having hatred towards religion and feeling suffocation in terms of religion. That's the cathedral represents religion in this novel. The third symbol is horses. Ursula's feeling of being trapped by the powerful physical might of the horses near the inn become symbols of her feelings about Anton. The horses here represents the male or the patriarchal society, and the society dominated by the males. So horses are the symbols of males in the society. Symbol of energy, symbol of domination, symbol of oppression and suppression upon the female in the society. Thus, the projection of the animalistic equine power becomes a projection of Anton's equally animalistic machismo. Here, horses also represents animalistic point of view, which the soldier contains. The soldier lives their life somewhat like animals. They haven't got any emotion or affection. They know how to kill and how to have sex with women. Nothing more than that. Here is an illustrative drama adapted from the novel The Rainbow. The next sequel of this book, The Rainbow, is Women in Love. I suggest you to read this book as well. That's the end of the lesson in week 10. Thank you very much for being with me throughout this lesson. Talk to you with more details with another topic next week. Thank you very much. Bye bye.